Hello, everyone. Welcome to our podcast, Tech Connect with Center Tech. Here we discuss all things technology for small and medium businesses. So if you're running a small and medium business, this is your place. All right, in our episodes, we'll try and cover three themes, these being how using technology in a business can assist you to be more efficient, more productive. Two, how can it assist you to provide better service to your clients, improve how you connect with your clients, customer experience. It's something that can elevate your business, can give you a competitive advantage. So it's important to manage how you interact and how customers feel about interacting with your business. And finally, the last theme is how do you use technology to improve on your bottom line? How does it impact your bottom line and profitability? So in this space, we'll have professionals, IT professionals who've been in the space for a long time, digital marketing people who will come on. And these are people that come from our platform, if you know it, Center Tech, which is an online platform for digital marketing and IT services. So they'll come on the platform and share their experiences, share how they've sort of assisted businesses, and how you can connect with them and they can assist you in your business, right? So for today's topic, we anchor today's topic around solar services. When solar became a big thing in South Africa, it was about load shedding. How do you make sure that you keep your lights on when load shedding is around? How do you remain productive? But we know that we don't have load shedding for a while now. I think we're running at more than 150 days now. So, but there's still use for solar, right? If you're running a business, you're running a factory, how can you use that to cut down on your cost, to remain productive? What can you still do with that, right? So to assist us in that conversation today, we have one of our professionals, which is Glenn. I'll hand over to Glenn to just introduce himself and their business. And then we take it from there. Welcome, Glenn.
I'm Glenn Noome from a company called Zebratech. I think that our strength has been a technology evolution. I've been in my own company for 24 years, and before that another probably 10 years, without giving away my age, 10 years in the IT field. So the company Zebratech is primarily doing solar and security. Like I mentioned before, we've been in the industry on our own for 24 years. And I think that the strength that we had was the evolution where we started. So when we started in the IT space, it was your general networking, computers, that type of thing. We then moved to automation, and the story of moving to home automation is quite a funny story. It was watching MTV Cribs, and there was Tommy Lee from the band Motley Crue walking around in his underpants with an iPad in his hand, controlling his house. And when I saw that, I said, that's something that I want to develop and sell in South Africa. And we joined up with, we obviously looked at best of breed solutions. We went with Schneider then, and it was the Clipsal brand. And I think to date, we've done about 120 houses with home automation. And that was the learning curve that we had in the business. In a house, although it's residential and smaller than commercial jobs, the intricacies were massive, because the strength that we had there was the integration of your lighting, your audio, security, CCTV, energy efficiency, etc. So that's where I think our technology and the most learning we had happened was through that phase. And then we evolved the stuff we'd learned from IT, home automation, into the commercial side. And that's where we started with the commercial CCTV, access control, building management, which is a commercial arm of home automation. And then your solar was a natural fit, because everything at the moment is on an IT background. So a lot of those services that are coming out are on the IT background, and a company wanted someone that was very well versed in technology and integration of that technology, and having a single company offer those type of solutions.
No, that's great, Glenn. I know. I think in the conversation we had earlier, you were telling me about the work that you've done with Marriott. I think that's some brilliant stuff with automation.
So Marriott was the first installation on the continent with that solution, and it was excuse all the acronyms, but it was a GRMS, which is the guest room management system in all the rooms, and also covered the open places through BMS, which is your building management system, and then there was PMS, which is a property management system. So we integrated that into each room at the Marriott, as well as the open places, so that they can get maximum efficiency. Obviously, the key to that is your customer experience. And what we learned, I think the change at that stage was learning how a hotel actually operated, as opposed to doing the similar solution in a hotel or a building. We had to find out the customer's needs and then basically customize the solution specifically to them. And that was a high point for us. It was the Marriott Explorers Arch. It was 400 odd rooms, and then the BMS in the open plans. So they were able to manage it and get cost efficiencies on that solution.
Great stuff, brilliant stuff. All right, so I think now I'm going to get into a customer's shoes. Remember, what we're trying to do here is, to bring it to a business level. I know we're starting talking about the acronyms, so maybe let's bring it down to a business level, so that our viewers, business people, can then understand it and see how they can bring it into their business. All right, so my first question would be, I'm a business, I manufacture stuff. I've got 2 factories somewhere, and I come to you and say, solar, what can you do for me? How can you help me be efficient there and cut costs?
Okay. So our philosophy at Zebratech is obviously customer driven. We need to make sure that the solution we're giving to the customer benefits them, because we want long-term relationships, and therefore, if we look after the customer correctly, we build that long-term relationship.
Okay.
So I think the first thing we would do is, if you had that a building, it would be an energy audit. So literally coming to your building, having an energy audit to see where and what consumes energy in your building. And that's from the solar side. The security might be another issue on your CCTV, access control, that type of thing. So we do a full audit, and then sit down with you as a customer, find out your requirements, and then start giving a proposal.
Yeah. So, but what can I do with solar in that space? In our conversation earlier, you mentioned something around. I think I tried to position earlier that we no longer use solar for load shedding, but we use solar now to look at how do we manage and be efficient. Right? So
what we're seeing obviously Eskom prices going up quite a lot. So as you said, the load shedding isn't so prevalent anymore, but the failing infrastructure is an issue. So we primarily focus on efficiency and productivity for our clients, and that might be different from a commercial to a residential. A residential, we want to save them money on the electricity bill. For a commercial, it's making sure that they've got redundancy. So if there is if load shedding had to come back, number one, or number two, the failing infrastructure goes down, that they're able to stay productive. And then secondly, the massive price increases on electricity, we want to save them money on that side. So what we saw on the commercial side was a client came to us and they had a massive electricity bill. What we then did was we said to them that the options that have come out now, which suits the clients, especially on the commercial side, but also on the residential, is there's a rent to own model, which has been around for quite a while.
Okay.
And then the new model is actually a rental where they just rent the equipment. Now that would be on the question to the end user is CapEx a problem? Is OpEx a problem? Most of the guys say, listen here, if we can do it under the operational costs, they rent it purely from us. They get to claim back the rental on that solar equipment at the end of the year through their tax. And then secondly, they're getting the savings. So the scenario that we did was we measured the one factory. We found out that the electricity bill was around about 100,000 a month. We worked out that we could save them 30% on that, and then they got to claim back their monthly cost on the rental of that equipment. And for the next 5 years, they didn't have to worry about it because the rental was paid for, and then the 30,000 rand a month was a saving off their top end. So that's a massive thing that we've seen now is the rental option purely on the commercial side. They get to claim back literally everything. So it's a no-brainer.
It's a no-brainer. So you get, I mean, you don't have a huge capital outlay upfront. You get to save on your monthly cost. And at the same time, you've got power.
Correct.
Is that it?
And our value-added proposition is that the OEMs that we use, we make sure that the warranties on equipment are straight swap-out warranties. Because obviously, if the client is doing this because they want to keep their productivity high, we can't afford downtime in that. So going with a company like Zebratech, if they do get downtime, we swap out the unit, and that adds to the value of the ROI. And that's why we say that it's an ongoing thing. We walk the journey with the client on it, and during the time that we've got a service level agreement with them, they don't have to worry about the solar. They just basically benefit from the savings.
Great stuff. I'm interested. I like it. So I said I like it. So how big a hole will this dig in my pocket?
So I think
I know you can't give me a specific number, but from the range, for someone watching here and say, what sort of price range are we looking for something like this? Yeah. If we do this in a factory, if I do this in my office block, what sort of price range am I looking at?
So the main thing, and it's again, without getting too technical, it's down to the energy audit and seeing your needs. The two different customers that we had was one customer only worked during the day, so he only required solar to run his factory, and there we didn't have to put batteries, so it's pretty much half the price of a normal installation. On the bigger installation where the guys are running 24/7, we need to add batteries in that, and the price goes up. What I can say is that there's no capital outlay on this because of the rental option. So what we do is we make sure that whatever the cost of the material is, that literally the savings that we make pays for it. So whether it's a 200,000 installation or a 1.5 million, depending on the size of the factory and the type of equipment in there, we make sure that the rental is almost covered entirely by the saving, number one, and secondly by the tax rebate that you get claiming back for the OpEx on the rental.
Yeah, what we try and maybe communicate, especially from this platform, because you're dealing with your small to medium businesses. It's the idea to have a concept in terms of, I might be thinking, I would like to do solar, but what sort of capital am I looking at? How much would this thing cost me? So to give them what you've just done, an idea in terms of how much would that cost, I think it will be of benefit. Taking that conversation further, we know we've passed the issue of load shedding. Touch wood, it stays like that. Right? But what sort of trends are you seeing in the industry? Where are things going? What are businesses implementing in their environment? What is the future looking like?
So the future on solar, the number one focus now, as I mentioned, which has changed from the load shedding side, is the efficiency, and then there's the aspect of going green, which people, they do want to do, but it's obviously got to be at a cost saving for them. People aren't going to do it at a massive cost. So we do aim at going green and the saving. What we've seen in the industry now is that people are wanting to implement the solution, whether it be shopping centers and then putting solar panels onto parking structures, for example. So free space that you've got there. Because like I said, the solar is literally paying for itself by the energy it creates. So the trends that we've seen is in shopping centers, we're seeing the parking structures, then putting solar panels on. Another big thing that we've seen, and this is not your typical commercial installation, but it's farmers that have got big dams on their properties. Now that is basically free space for them, and they've got massive costs on the electricity side. Okay. And in Cape Town, you're able to feed back to the grid. So what the opportunity does do is the opportunity will let you basically put floating panels onto a dam. The benefit of that is it stops the evaporation. It cools down the panels.
You put the panels on the dam.
On the dam floating. It's free space that no one's using. So you're not having to use open ground anymore. It stops the evaporation. And what people don't really understand is they think the hotter a panel gets from the sun, the more efficient it is, but it's not. It's the cooler the panel is, and obviously from the sun's rays, it gets the efficiency. So on the water, the panels become a lot more efficient as well, as opposed to being on a roof or something like that.
Yeah.
So I think from our side, the trends are going a lot more into the solar because people are starting to realize the saving. And again, it's about the consistent monitoring and adjustment and customization, and that's where our strength is at. And I think that's what we can say to the viewers here is if you've got a query, it's not a big scary thing. Part of what we do is the education of how this works. So if we're going to meet a potential customer that wants it, we explain the benefits of it, and it's a no obligation audit where we can say this is what it'll cost you, this is what you do, and 9 times out of 10, when they understand it and they understand the benefit, and they can get the rental option going, or some of them prefer to do the capex option, but it's up to the client, and we do work with them to give them the best option.
All right. So what would be an advice? What would you say a person starts when they've listened, they've seen what you said, they want to start exploring this? What would your advice be?
So my advice would be to number one, have an energy audit. And when I say audit, it's not an in-depth audit. It's just a basic site visit, a walkthrough, and from our experience, we can see from that what the cost would generally be. And then a basic conversation that we can educate the client, number one, but number two, find out their needs, because a lot of clients are under the advice from other people that it's this massive cost. And the thing is, it's not with the, like we've mentioned, the rental side, but as well, depending on their needs, they may not need batteries. And the other thing is that it is modular. So we do offer systems that can be upgraded as you go, depending on your need. So that's the thing is we look at it as a longer term relationship where we can see what the clients need, adjust, customize for them, and make sure that we fit into what their outcome should be. And another big thing that we see that adds value, and I think it's been from our 24 years of experience, is how you vet and choose your suppliers and your OEMs, because that directly impacts your customer at the end of the day. So a big thing to us is the OEM, and how we vet them is generally, if we can get the product in South Africa, obviously it's the first choice if it's manufactured in South Africa. If we can't, and a lot of the solar stuff isn't, then we look for a global company that's got, number one, great warranties, a product that is robust and can, because a lot of the products don't come from a country where there's load shedding and unstable power. So that's a big thing, is to find a robust supply
we
of
don't
hardware.
generally think about it.
Yeah.
Because to some of us, a solar panel is a solar panel, right?
Exactly. And the inverter and the power going down and up isn't what gets experienced in a lot of other countries. So the robustness of the equipment, the pricing of the equipment, the swap out, the backup support, and the backup support leads me to the skills development that we're doing as well, is that the teams have to be, what you want in an installation company is consistency. You don't want to have multiple teams where one does a great installation and one doesn't do it. So number one, we train the guys and do skills development in the teams to make sure that we're consistent across the board.
Okay.
And then the certification, we've got our PV green card, and a lot of companies have got the PV green card, but they don't actually follow the rules on it. It's like a tick box. For us, we make sure that we share the knowledge of how it should be done. Everything from your compliance to your COC. And one big thing that people don't recognize, especially in the commercial side, is your health and safety aspect of it. Okay. So working on roofs, that type of thing. You got to be doing the health and safety side, and make sure that the company that you use has got personal indemnity in case there's some type of accident, whether it be on the assets or the people. So that's a big thing we do, is how we actually work and implement the solution. And like I said, our OEMs, top class OEMs, go down to the installation teams, and then we follow the regulations to make sure that we're compliant on it.
Right. The bit about insurance, this is me talking as a layperson. Now I've installed, this thing is running, and we get hailstorm, right?
Yeah.
How do I deal with it?
Okay, so the first thing is that when we go the rental route, whether it is OPEX or CAPEX, actually, you need to make sure that your solar system is covered via insurance. Now, what I would suggest is that the insurance companies have different ideas on what's a fixed, so it fits under your building cost, okay, or whether you got to specify it. So what I would do is, once the installation's been done and you've got your certificate, your COC, etc., is contact the insurance company, your personal insurance company, and make sure that you are covered in the event of that. It may automatically be done if you're going through a reputable bank where you've done a rental option. It may be included in there on the insurance side from them. So just check that you're not getting your own insurance and they've got insurance, and there's a double cost. But make sure that your system is insured, so that if there is a lightning or a hailstorm, we've had that before where there's massive hailstorms and the solar panels get damaged and need to be replaced, make sure that is covered under your insurance.
Good stuff. All right, so to sort of summarize, to see if I've got it correctly, and hopefully if I've captured it correctly, our audience would have captured it correctly, right? Now I have a factory, like I asked my first question, 2 or 3 factories. You'll come along, you do an audit first to look at what my spend is, and you'll come back and say, all right, this is your current spend, this is how the electricity is increasing. With this is how much you can save. If we put this thing on, this is how much you can save. Am I still on the right track?
Correct.
Right. And if I say, okay, I'm happy, how do I do that? Then I've got options. Either I do CAPEX upfront, or I do, like you say, financed one.
Yes.
Right? And with the financed one, I have options where I don't have to lay down capital. I can get it financed. I can claim some of that money from SARS because I've put it there. But I still have power, right? So I'm still be able to be productive and to produce, right?
Correct.
And in the event that other ghost thing comes back, I am still sorted, right?
Correct.
So I'm saving. Am I saving money? Am I being productive?
Saving money, being productive.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest thing is you then get peace of mind, that you're not going down no matter. Some of the things that people also don't realize without that is is if there's no power for a week, and that's what's happened to some of the clients where we've done the work, it affects security systems as well. So it's not just the productivity, it's the in some of the areas where there's a lot of break-ins, there's a big problem if your security goes down because there's no power. So power is the big essence of it.
It all starts there. Well, good people, you've had it. I hope that helps, that adds value in if you are somewhere considering this option. You can contact us if you need like an in-depth consultation, or like Glenn said, if you need them to do sort of an evaluation of your environment. So feel free to contact us. Please like our platform. It's a new baby. Please like it, subscribe, send us any questions that you have. We'll be happy to to respond to that. And we're very privileged if you've watched this for the first time with us, and hope you will stay with us going further. I'd like to leave you with one thought as we close. No business can exist and succeed on its own like an island. Businesses need other businesses to succeed. Let's connect. Thank you.
Thank you.